And he sat behind the desk and told me that Nick was raining punches down upon Sam Scott. Sam Scott defended with his left hand and threw one short right punch. And I went, okay. If that's the case, then we'll take it on the chin. And if it's a fairly severe circumstances, it's pretty horrendous because Nick's been killed. And that's a terrible thing for any parent to face. And if Nick was at fault, then he would take responsibility because that's the environment he was brought up. I just didn't really understand what was going on. So then some weeks later we requested a file. So I got the file and I started reading the file and I thought, oh Nick, you know, what were you thinking? Until I got to other statements and witnesses' statements that said something completely different. And let's go back to the intoxication of Nicholas. Why wasn't Sam Scott? Why wasn't his level of intoxication taken? That would be a question that I'd have to ask. Well, I'll tell you why. Because they never attended the scene. Even though they were told twice that night by the ambulance officer, the IPCA report, it clearly says that they weren't decisive. There was no direction. I can quote it. Looks like the original investigation lacked the eye of a canny investigator. The initial investigation lacked vigour and direction. The IPCA, I believe, was damning on them. It was a damning report on the police on the first investigation. It was a very poor investigation right from day one. It was poorly done. It was poorly run. The only time that they ever got any kind of urgency about them was when Nicholas died. Suddenly, there's like, throw staff at this thing, better get... By that time, they'd missed critical evidence and testimony. They hadn't secured the scene. They didn't even know where people were standing because they didn't have any idea because they didn't attend. So that's where it started. And that's when it took off. And ever since then, I've always said, and I seem to be a lone voice, certainly with police, is that they got it wrong. Now, there's any amount of evidence here to suggest that they did get it wrong. It should have always gone to a public forum. I think the only appropriate public forum would have been a court of law. I think the police made a huge mistake in deciding themselves that it was self-defence. They shouldn't have done that. I don't believe it was their place to do so. There's no closure. I've accepted that Nicholas is dead. He's never coming back. We have lost him. He's gone. But I miss him every day. Always will. Because you have to lose a child to understand fully. And it's an enormous, gaping abyss. And all anniversaries and gatherings, they're not there. Now I've lost a mother, a father, a brother, a much respected brother, a loved, cherished sister, who I just thought the world of, and they pale in comparison to losing Nick.